I realised when I graduated that I'd learnt more in the past year than I'd learnt trying to pursue a career over the past decade without any prior training. And if I didn't have the scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to accept my offer of a place, and I wouldn't have been able to embark on my studies without my year being plagued by debt-related worries. And I think scholarship funding is so important. It's of paramount importance because it helps people like me get into the industry, it helps raise representation, and it helps maintain the impeccable standard of talent in the arts in this country. The day I had a scholarship, it was this delayed gratification because I was happy, but then there was a part of me that was just like, can I really accept it? Will I have to be one of the thousands of people who've had to turn down a place due to funding issues? I think the most beautiful thing about theatre is that it's made up of people who have so many different stories to tell. And I think if people who are only able to tell one type of story are allowed into the industry, we're going to be looking at quite a bleak future. Widening access means basically maintaining this amazing talent that this country has, but then also being able to foster the ability to tell kind of stories that you wouldn't have been able to hear about if certain people aren't allowed in. Well, the first eureka moment for me about theatre and how much I loved it was when I was 4 years old and my mum took me to see Beauty and the Beast on stage, and I just turned to my mum and I was like, Mum, is this like the cinema but really, really real? And she's like, yes. And I was like, wow, I want to do this. And I did drama workshops as a kid, I studied it at school, I studied it at university, but then it didn't really crossed my mind that I could actually do it for a living until I was in kind of my mid to late 20s, because I thought that only well-connected or rich people or very good-looking people or American people could actually do it for a living. And so when I realised that you actually could train, I was like, how do I do this? And I think drama for me is really important because for me it's telling stories, and it's finding a way to expose people to stories that isn't sort of reading the newspaper and getting quite a biased take, or being there, or sometimes I'll go to the theatre and I'll feel like I've had like a really kind of first-hand history lesson, and it's just finding ways for people of all walks of life to connect in that one room for like an hour and a half, and letting people forget about their problems for an hour and a half and being a part of that. And that's what I love.